Well folks, welcome to the next video in the series of buying vintage fishing rods. I've got a new consignment in from Ireland and from the rod dealers, and we should be going through that just now. Keep watching if you're interested in that kind of thing. So this is typically how the rods arrive, usually packed in a tube like this. Alright, so first off is this, which is the Hardy of Alnwick. Now you can see, if I just pull away, you can see this is in a tapered rod case. And this is the kind of rod case you used to get from early 1900. So inside we have the Hardy of Alnwick, and there's the Royal Warrant on the other side, which is what you check for. And if you look at the handle, it's actually in pretty good condition. So what you can see there is there's a fair bit of whitening to the varnish, but if you go down the rod and just examine the actual rod and the eyes, they are actually in pretty good condition. There are no breaks, and there's no splitting of the cane or anything like that. So when a rod like this is renovated, it is worth a fair few £100. So this is well worth looking at. So this rod has patent Hardy twist locks, which they are correct for this rod. And you can see the cane is in a state, and the varnish does go white if it's very old. It's quite a common phenomena. I have to say, the end stop here, that doesn't look like it's original. So it doesn't have Hardy on it for a start, and it looks a little bit too big. So that's probably not the original end stop, which is interesting. It does have a rare serial number on it though. There's D74 on it. The D series were only made in 1925, I think. There's a pretty rare serial number. So that's quite an unusual rod, and it does also show you that Hardy, above all others, were using aluminium as far back as 1925, which they were, and we actually know that from other serial numbers. So it's unusual because most manufacturers were not using aluminium at that time. So all in all, that's a nice antique two-piece fly rod, probably around about 9 to 10 feet, and that's not a bad little rod. So it looks like the dealers in Dublin have come up again with a good deal. That obviously needs a bit of work, and it will get that, but it's worth putting the work into something that's worth a few £100. Okay, so next we have another two-piece. If we pull back out, you can see there it's also in an older case. It's not a tapered case, so it's probably not as old as the Hardy rod. This particular rod, it's not as long as the Hardy rod either. So looking at the handle's not too bad. There's a little bit of damage just there at the right hand end there, which is not too bad to do. If I come and focus in there, it's got a typical Walker Bampton and a serial number on it. There are no lists of serial numbers for Walker Bampton, unfortunately, but the way this rod's been made does suggest sort of 50s. There is some damage to the windings, but all of the rod rings that remain, they're all chromed and they're all good. None of them are rusty. And the end tip's pretty good too. I'll just show you the end tip just now. So you can see with this rod, it has suction cup fittings. You have to remember that Walker Bampton of Alnwick were one of Hardy's major competitors in Alnwick itself, or Alnwick as it's called, and they probably wouldn't have allowed Walkers to use their twist lock fittings. Not surprising. Now this particular rod is marked with its length, which is 9 foot, and it's called the Lennox. Now I have to say that it's pretty unusual to find a Walker Bampton which has a name on it like that. So this might be quite a rare rod. I'll have to find out if it is or not, but it probably is. Now one last thing, you can see there the case doesn't fold over properly. That's a sure sign that this is probably not the original case. So, which is a shame, but at least it's got something, which is good. Okay, lastly in this video we have a three-piece which appears to have 2 spare tips, so we'll have a look at that now. Okay, so first look at this. Everything appears to be standard and original. This is a Walker Bampton. I like the last one, but it's a lot older, and as you can see there's some whitening of the varnish, but there's nothing wrong with the actual cane. Well, the bottom eye here has an agate in it which is not cracked. It is bent a little, but that can be sorted out, that's not a problem. and then we have the paint and twist locks at the other end. Okay, so this is the midsection of this rod. This whitening here, this is just the varnish. The cane will be good underneath there, generally speaking. There are some eyes missing off this rod. You can see there's one missing there, and there's certain sections like here where the cane has been split and is starting to come away, and something's been leaning on this rod as well, and it's like distorted at one end, which is a bit of a shame really. This particular rod is also a steel cored salmon rod, so it may be a bit difficult to fix. I'm not sure. It may end up as a display rod, in fact. Okay, so next out of this bag is we've got two spare tips. Both tips are full length, so they're not broken or anything. The agates at the right hand top end there, they're not cracked at all, so they're a good pair of agates. So even if we don't use this rod, we can probably use the agates for something. But as you can see, there's a lot of discoloration, and almost all the windings will have to be replaced on this. It's a fair bit of work, but a Walker Bampton rod like this is actually has a fair value to it once it's done, so it is worth doing. Now it has to be said that Walker Bampton didn't always label their bags, and I haven't seen very many original Walker Bampton rod bags. But this may not be the original rod bag. It does look like it fits, but you know, over a lot of years people do. They do sort of make do and mend, you know. Right folks, so that concludes this little video. Just thought I'd show you the latest rods that have come in. These will be due for restoration soon, and if you watch out for our store, they will come up for sale at some point. So I hope you enjoyed watching. Thanks so much for watching. This is Avian Fish signing off now. Bye.